Please subscribe. It helps a lot.
Cody tightened the strap of his backpack until it pressed across his shoulder blades. The gravel of the trailhead crunched under his boots, uneven ground that pulled at his balance, though he steadied himself with the practice of years. He told himself he was ready for this hike, even if his legs burned faster than most. He never let his mild cerebral palsy slow him down. The morning sun sat low but strong, flickering through branches as the forest waited, silent and endless. Hayden stood near the signpost with an impatient smirk, arms crossed as if the trip were his idea alone. His shirt hung loose over his thin frame, fabric flapping in the late summer breeze. He looked smaller than Cody remembered, face drawn, eyes darkened from months of strain. It had been a long summer since Hayden's strange disappearance in these very woods. 3 days gone, then back again, with no explanation. Everyone whispered, yet Hayden ignored it all, carrying himself as if survival granted authority. Cody's fingers brushed the compass clipped to his belt. Adam had pressed it into his palm that morning outside the ranger station. His voice shook when he said, "Keep this with you no matter what." Adam's sight was weak, clouded enough that distant shapes blurred together, yet he still looked straight at Cody as if he could see more than eyes allowed. Cody wanted to laugh off the warning, though something inside him tightened instead. "Ready?" Hayden asked. His grin widened when Cody nodded, and he stepped into the trees without waiting. Cody followed. The canopy swallowed the sky, patches of cloud breaking apart in the wind overhead. The path curved over roots and rocks, each step demanding focus. Cody's muscles pulled tight in his legs, but he welcomed the effort. He wanted to prove he could keep up, not only to Hayden but to himself. "You walk faster now," Hayden called from ahead, his tone playful yet sharp. "Been practicing," Cody answered. Hayden laughed without looking back. The forest smelled of pine and damp soil. Birds scattered from branches when Hayden stomped through undergrowth instead of sticking to the marked trail. Cody slowed, uneasy with each detour. He tried to remind him of the painted blazes on the trees, but Hayden waved him off. "These markers lead nowhere worth going," he said. "The forest has its own paths." Cody frowned. He had come here for one final day of summer adventure, not philosophy. Adam's worried face returned to his mind, the furrow in his brow when he urged Cody to skip the trip. Adam had wanted them to stay in town, maybe spend the day near the lake where sight mattered less and voices meant more. Cody wanted to, but Hayden's invitation pulled harder. Hayden had been his friend for years, a constant presence who sometimes inspired him. He hoped this weekend might bring clarity. Hours passed beneath shifting light. The sky dimmed as branches thickened above and the path beneath their feet disappeared. Cody's stomach turned when he realized he no longer saw painted blazes. "Wait," he said. "We've gone off course." Hayden stopped, his back still to Cody. He stood silent for a beat, then tilted his head with a grin Cody could almost feel even before seeing it. "So what?" Hayden asked. "We'll find our way." "Isn't that the point?" Cody stepped closer, breath shallow. "We came for a hike, not to get lost." "Lost is a matter of choice," Hayden replied. His voice was calm, steady, in a way that unsettled Cody more than anger ever could. "Don't you have that compass?" The forest grew quieter, the kind of hush that pressed into ears and demanded notice. Cody's chest rose and fell faster, his balance wavering. He gripped a nearby branch, steadying himself. Hayden turned then, eyes bright with something Cody could not name. "Don't worry," Hayden said. "The forest knows where we're going." Cody swallowed, his fingers tracing the edge of the compass at his belt. Adam's words repeated in his mind, quiet yet firm. He wanted to trust Hayden, yet something in him shifted, a warning he could not shake. He knew Hayden had never told the truth about last spring. Whatever happened to him out here, it still clung to his voice, his skin, the curve of his smile. Cody looked back the way they came, though the trail behind them had blended into shadow. He breathed deep and forced his legs forward, matching Hayden's stride, because turning around alone felt impossible. The trees swayed in the wind, branches scratching against one another like whispers. The air cooled even as sunlight filtered through. Cody felt his stomach tighten with hunger already, though it was far too early for that. Hayden whistled a low tune as he walked carefree on the outside, yet his shoulders hunched forward, body restless. Cody's eyes lingered on him, searching for the friend he once knew. Somewhere beneath the thin frame and sunken cheeks, that boy remained. He wanted to believe it. They reached a narrow clearing where grass grew tall in broken patches. Hayden stretched his arms wide, smiling at the open space as if it belonged to him. Cody stood behind him, shifting on tired legs, thinking of Adam again. Adam who trusted him enough to worry. Adam who never treated him like he was fragile. Adam who placed the compass in his hand with quiet certainty. The forest loomed around them, shadows creeping longer across the clearing. Hayden breathed deep and turned to Cody with eyes that glimmered, the grin still fixed in place. "This is where the real hike begins," he said. Cody felt his chest tighten as if the ground beneath him tilted. The forest waited, and Hayden's smile looked more like possession than joy. He nodded once, unable to find words, and stepped forward into the trees after him. The clearing grew darker as the day sank toward evening. Cody watched Hayden crouch near the creek, cupping water into his mouth. His reflection rippled across the surface, broken and strange. Cody hesitated before kneeling to drink as well, the cold liquid sharp against his teeth. It soothed the dryness in his throat, yet reminded him of how far they had strayed. "Where are we?" Cody said, his voice low. "We should have already been back at the car." Hayden wiped his mouth with the back of his hand and stared at him with steady eyes. "Not yet." "There's more to see." Cody shifted on his heels. His legs already ached, and a faint pull in his calf warned him of the climb back. He glanced toward the tree line where the sun leaked through branches, marking the hours slipping away. "Hayden," he said again, "if we wait too long, we won't find the trail. I can't make it back in the dark." Hayden stood, stretching his thin arms toward the sky. "Don't worry about the trail. I know another way." The calm in his tone unsettled Cody more than panic would have. He searched Hayden's face, trying to find the boy he had known for years, the friend who once joked during math class and teased him at the lake. Instead, he saw someone hollowed out, a shell moving with purpose Cody could not follow. They gathered sticks for a fire, though Hayden treated the task like ceremony rather than survival. He built the pile with careful hands, almost reverent. Sparks flared when he struck flint, flames licking upward into the dimming sky. Cody sat across from him, the warmth brushing his skin. The forest stirred with sounds Cody could not place. An owl called, its voice low and broken. Leaves rustled even when no wind touched them. The air cooled against his neck. "They'll be looking for us," Cody said, breaking the silence. "We weren't supposed to be gone overnight." Hayden looked across the flames, his eyes shining. "Why would they?" Cody blinked, unsure if he heard right. "Because this is a day trip. We planned it for one day." "Well, they won't be looking in the dark," Hayden replied. "Besides, they won't find us." A chill passed through Cody. He gripped his knees, his palms damp. "What do you mean?" Hayden leaned forward, elbows on his thighs, firelight stretching across his face. "Last time when I went missing, I thought I was finished. 3 days out here, no food, no map, no hope. Then I understood. The forest doesn't kill if you listen." It provides. Cody's chest tightened. "You almost died, Hayden. Everyone knows it. You came back thin, shaking, barely able to speak." Hayden smiled, but it was not joy. "I came back alive." "That's the part you're forgetting." Cody's pulse quickened. He looked at the flames, then back at Hayden, searching for some trace of truth. Hayden's eyes did not waver. They ate from their dwindling supply of trail mix and dried fruit. Hayden tossed half of his portion into the fire, watching it shrivel in the heat. Cody stared in disbelief. "Why would you waste it?" "Because we don't need it," Hayden answered. His voice was steady, like someone revealing a secret already settled inside him. The fire cracked, sending sparks into the air. Cody turned away, clutching his compass. Adam's face flickered in his mind, his warning carried in every beat of his heart. When night covered the forest, Cody lay on his side near the fire, unable to close his eyes. Hayden's breathing across the clearing sounded too measured, as if he performed sleep rather than fell into it. The sounds around them grew sharper. Twigs broke, soft yet deliberate. A low groan drifted between the trees, not animal, not human, something in between. Cody sat up, scanning the dark, his chest tight with unease. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Hayden rolled over, his eyes glinting in the firelight. He smiled without answering. Cody turned away, heart pounding. He curled tighter, the compass pressed against his palm. Sleep never came. Morning brought gray light filtered through thick branches. Hayden stirred before Cody, already pacing near the creek. His shoulders rose and fell with restless energy. "We're out of food," Cody said, pulling the empty bag from his pack. Hayden shrugged. "Water will keep us strong." Cody stood, his legs stiff. "We should go back now." "Back to what?" Hayden asked, voice flat. "You don't see it yet, but you will." Cody swallowed. His mouth felt dry despite the water. "What are you talking about?" Hayden turned slowly, his eyes locked on Cody. For a moment his expression cracked, showing something raw beneath. "The forest gave me something last spring. You'll understand when it chooses you too." Cody froze, the words sinking like stone. His pulse hammered in his ears. Hayden stepped closer, smiling again as if nothing had shifted. The sky above lightened with the rise of the sun, yet the clearing seemed darker than before. Cody knew then that Hayden did not want to leave. Cody forced himself to walk beside Hayden, though every step pressed harder against his chest. The compass swung from his belt, tapping lightly against his thigh, as if reminding him of a direction he could not take. Hayden led them away from the creek, his stride, long shoulders loose. He looked almost eager, like he carried some private destination inside him. The trees thickened, light dimming beneath the canopy. Cody tried to follow landmarks, counting bends and trunks in the slope of the ground, but everything bled together into one wall of green and shadow. His pulse raced faster than his legs could move. "Do you even know where you're going?" Cody asked. Hayden stopped, tilting his head back toward him. His smile flickered across his thin face. "Of course. I know every turn out here." "You said the same thing yesterday," Cody replied, voice sharp. Hayden shrugged and kept walking. Cody's legs cramped as the ground climbed higher. His calves ached. He breathed through clenched teeth, determined not to call attention to his weakness. Hayden moved ahead without slowing, as if the forest carried him rather than weighed him down. By midday, their stomachs ached from emptiness. They stopped near a hollow log where sunlight cut through in patches. Cody lowered himself onto the ground, his limbs heavy. He drank from his water bottle and stared at the line of trees. "This can get bad real fast," he said, voice firm. "We don't have food left." Hayden sat across from him, elbows on his knees, watching him with an expression Cody could not read. "Food is a habit more than a need. People can last weeks without it." "That's not the point," Cody said. "Everyone will be worried." Hayden's mouth twitched. "Adam will come looking, I'm sure." "He always does." The name struck Cody in a place deeper than hunger. His chest tightened. Adam's voice echoed inside him, low and steady. "Keep the compass with you." Adam would already be pacing, calling, maybe begging someone to help. He had always cared too much, more than Cody could explain. Hayden's tone softened. "Why stay tied to people who never see the forest the way we do? Out here, it's only us. Doesn't that feel better?" Cody stared at him, words failing. He thought of Adam's hands brushing his, the warmth of his voice in quiet rooms, the certainty of being known without judgment. That was real. This felt like a trap wrapped in promise. When afternoon waned, they reached another creek. Hayden bent to drink again, splashing water across his face. Cody followed reluctantly, his reflection ghostly in the moving surface. His skin looked pale, his eyes ringing with fatigue. Hayden's reflection beside him looked sharper, the bones of his face jutting more, shadows etched into his cheeks. Cody blinked hard, unsettled. As dusk approached, they built a small fire. "You know," Hayden said after a long silence. When people go long enough without food, strange thoughts come. They imagine what they would do for a meal. They wonder about the flesh right in front of them. Cody's stomach sharpened. He looked at Hayden sharply. That isn't funny. Hayden's eyes glimmered, reflecting firelight. Who said I was joking? Cody's breath caught. He turned toward the darkness beyond the fire, willing himself to calm down. His legs trembled, his fingers tightening around the compass. The night dragged slowly. Hayden muttered to himself, broken phrases Cody could not gather. His body rocked gently as he sat cross-legged, his grin appearing and fading with each flicker of flame. Cody lay on his side, eyes wide open. Every sound in the forest pressed closer. Branches breaking, a low groan moving through the trees, something brushing across leaves. He whispered Adam's name, so faint he barely heard it himself. When sleep finally pulled at him, he startled awake again. Hayden crouched at the edge of the firelight, staring at him. His shoulders hunched, his hands pressed into the dirt. "What are you doing?" Cody asked, voice shaking. Hayden tilted his head, teeth showing faintly. "Thinking about survival." Cody scrambled backward, heart hammering. He could not hold Hayden's gaze. The friend before him no longer looked safe, no longer looked human. Far away, Cody knew Adam would not stop searching. He pictured him moving through town with his father and brother, insisting they listen, refusing to give up. Adam, nearly blind yet clearer in vision than anyone else. That image steadied Cody enough to stay awake through the night. The fire died to embers, shadows swallowing Hayden's form until only his breathing remained. Cody sat rigid, his body aching, mind spinning, the compass still clutched in his palm. He prayed morning would come fast, though dread told him daylight would not end anything. Cody rose before the sun, his body stiff, eyes sore from a night without rest. Ashes smoldered in the fire pit, thin smoke curling into the gray air. Hayden sat nearby with knees pulled to his chest, staring into the trees as if listening to something Cody could not hear. Cody slipped the compass into his pocket, pressing it tight against his leg. He could not stay another night in that clearing. His stomach gnawed with emptiness, his throat dry from creek water. Fear gnawed deeper still, worse than hunger. He stood and whispered, "I'm leaving." Hayden turned his head slowly, lips curving in a faint smile. "Where will you go?" "Back to the trail," Cody said. His voice shook, but he forced it louder. "Back to people." Back to Adam. Hayden's smile sharpened. "Adam can't guide you here." Cody's heart jolted. He moved toward the tree line, every step unsteady on uneven ground, but his will stronger than his body. Branches tore at his sleeves as he entered the dark. Hayden rose behind him, laughter low and soft, carrying through the undergrowth. "You think you can walk away from me?" Hayden called. His tone was light, yet something in it scraped at Cody's nerves. Cody pushed forward, following the compass needle through the landscape offered no sense of direction. His breath came in sharp bursts. He focused on Adam's voice in his mind, calm and steady, reminding him to keep going. The forest stretched endlessly in all directions. Each crack of a twig behind him announced Hayden's presence. Sometimes the sound grew closer, sometimes it drifted farther, but it never faded. Cody's skin prickled with the knowledge that Hayden followed for sport. The ground dipped, and Cody slid down a slope into a shallow ravine. Mud clung to his boots, slowing him as he scrambled up the other side. At the top, he turned back. Hayden stood framed against the pale sky, his outline strange, limbs too long, head tilted in unnatural angles. Cody stumbled backward, his breath caught in his throat. Hayden raised a hand in greeting as if nothing were wrong. His teeth gleamed faintly when he smiled. The morning grew brighter, yet the forest seemed heavier with each step. Cody's legs throbbed, his muscles screaming for rest. Still, he pressed forward, the compass his only anchor. He thought of Adam's touch, his steady hand on his arm when guiding him across uneven ground. He thought of nights when Adam's voice filled the silence, turning fear into comfort. That memory pushed Cody onward even when his body faltered. By the time the sun broke through the branches, Cody collapsed near another clearing. His chest heaved, sweat slick on his skin. He pulled the compass free, shaking fingers trying to steady it. The needle quivered without mercy. A rustle came from behind. Hayden stepped into view, his eyes burning with a hunger Cody had never seen before. His body twitched with restless energy, his grin wide, his cheeks hollow. "You ran all night," Hayden said. Strong for someone who always worried about keeping up. Cody rose to his knees, forcing himself to meet his gaze. "Stop this. We can find the trail together. You don't need to." Hayden cut him off with a laugh, a sound high and thin. "I told you what happened last spring. The forest saved me. It offered what no one else could. Once you taste it, you never forget." Cody's stomach turned, bile burning his throat. "You didn't," he whispered. Hayden stepped closer. His shoulders shook as if holding back something stronger than himself. "I did. And I want more." Cody staggered to his feet, his legs trembling. He held the compass like a weapon, though it offered no defense. "You're not yourself." Hayden's face shifted soft for a moment, eyes wet with something human. Then the hardness returned, sharper than before. He licked his lips and whispered, "I am more myself than ever." The space between them shrank. Cody backed away into the clearing, heart hammering, every muscle screaming at him to flee. The forest around them seemed to lean closer, trapping him within its walls. Somewhere far beyond those trees, Adam searched. Cody clung to that knowledge, whispering his name under his breath, pulling strength from the thought of him. Adam would not stop until he found him. Hayden tilted his head, watching Cody like prey. "Run if you want." "It makes the chase sweeter." Cody turned and bolted, his body weak yet driven by something stronger than survival. He heard Hayden's footsteps behind him, fast and light, closing the gap. Branches tore at Cody's arms, scratches stinging as he pushed through the brush. His breath came ragged, his vision blurred, but he refused to fall. The sun climbed higher, lighting the forest with pale gold. To Cody, it felt like dawn was arriving too late. Hayden's laughter echoed behind him, not distant, not close, always near enough to remind him escape might be impossible. Cody burst through the undergrowth, lungs searing, his body trembling with exhaustion. His legs screamed for rest, but Hayden's laughter threaded through the trees, keeping him upright. The sound carried with a strange rhythm, playful and cruel at once. Cody stumbled into a patch of bare earth, tripped on a root, and crashed onto his knees. Dirt filled his mouth as he gasped for air. When he lifted his head, Hayden stood at the edge of the clearing. His shoulders quivered, his posture bent forward as if pulled by an unseen force. His face looked thinner than it had hours earlier, skin stretched tight across bone. His eyes glowed with feverish hunger. "You can't keep running," Hayden said, his voice cracked with strain. "You'll give in sooner or later." Cody forced himself to his feet. His hands shook. "This isn't you. You can fight it. You can come back." Hayden took a step forward, lips curling to reveal teeth sharp in the morning light. "Why would I want to? Out here I am free. I don't have to starve. I don't have to fear. The forest gave me a gift." "That's not a gift," Cody said, his throat raw. "It's killing you." Hayden lunged, closing the distance between them in a blur. Cody stumbled backward, his heel striking a stone. He hit the ground hard, the compass tumbling from his grip. Hayden loomed above him, mouth open, breath sour with decay. His fingers pinned Cody's shoulders to the dirt. Cody's body froze beneath him. He saw Hayden's face shifting in the light, flickering between human and something darker. Jaw stretched wide, eyes hollow, skin pale with veins visible beneath the surface. Cody's stomach twisted, fear rising like fire through his chest. "Please," Cody whispered. "You don't want this." "You're my friend. I know you're still in there." For an instant, Hayden's features softened. His eyes wavered, wet with something like sorrow. His grip loosened slightly. Cody's heart surged with hope. Then Hayden growled, low and guttural, snapping back into hunger. He pressed closer, teeth inches from Cody's throat. "I can't stop anymore." Cody squeezed his eyes shut. In his mind, he saw Adam's face, calm even in fear, his voice steady with conviction. He remembered the warmth of Adam's hand guiding him across cracked sidewalks, the closeness of their breaths on nights when words faltered. That memory anchored him, pulling him from panic. A metallic click cut the air. The sound froze Hayden in place. "Move away from him." The voice was sharp, certain. Cody opened his eyes. At the edge of the clearing stood Adam's brother with a rifle, barrel raised and steady. Beside him, Adam stood straight despite his weakened sight. His pale eyes fixed on Cody with a clarity that startled him. Hayden snarled, a guttural sound, his head snapping toward them. His grip tightened again, but hesitation flickered in his movement. Cody looked up at him, heart pounding, desperate to reach what little humanity remained. "You don't have to do this," Cody said, his voice breaking. "You can walk away. You can fight it. Please." Hayden trembled above him. His mouth opened wider, teeth bared, yet his eyes wavered again. For a moment, Cody thought he might collapse into tears. Then Hayden let out a scream that shook the trees and sprang to his feet. He bolted into the forest, his form twisting as he moved, body jerking in unnatural rhythm until the trees swallowed him whole. The sound of his footsteps faded into silence. Cody lay trembling on the ground, dirt smeared across his face. He turned toward the clearing's edge where Adam approached slowly, hands reaching forward until they found him. Adam pulled him into an embrace, arms tight, body warm against his own. "You're safe," Adam whispered. His breath brushed Cody's ear, steady and grounding. Cody buried his face against Adam's shoulder. His throat burned, his body weak, but his heart filled with relief so strong it hurt. Adam's presence was enough. Words failed them both, yet nothing needed to be spoken. Adam's brother lowered the rifle, eyes scanning the trees. Cody felt the weight of what nearly happened pressing down on him, heavier than exhaustion. Hayden's face lingered in his mind, torn between friendship and hunger, between human and monster. The sound of his scream echoed even in silence. Cody clung tighter to Adam, afraid to let go. In that moment, he understood how close he had come to losing not only his life, but the people who tethered him to it. The silence in the clearing did not feel safe. Cody clung to Adam, body quivering against him, his breath still caught in sharp pulls, and each sound in the forest carried weight, each shift of branches a reminder of Hayden's retreat. Adam's brother scanned the trees with narrow eyes. "He's gone," he said, though his tone lacked conviction. Cody pressed closer to Adam's chest. Adam's arms held him firm, his touch steady where Cody's strength had faded. No words rose between them. Cody listened to Adam's heartbeat and let the sound ground him. They stayed until the forest light grew stronger. Birds returned to the branches, calling out as if the terror belonged to another world. Cody wiped dirt from his face and pulled away with reluctance. He looked toward the path he had taken while running from Hayden, though no clear trail marked the way. Adam reached for Cody's hand, their fingers interlacing. His touch trembled faintly, but the grip refused to let go. "We need to move," Adam said softly. "We can't stay here." "There's a road not far." Cody nodded. His throat tightened when he thought of Hayden moving deeper into the woods, alone, consumed by hunger. A part of him wished he had fought harder, tried longer, but another part knew Hayden's choice had already been sealed long before this weekend. The group began their walk back. Adam's brother led with the rifle in his arms. Adam moved beside Cody, each step cautious but sure, guided by his memory of the forest, and Cody's hand steadying him when roots or rocks blocked the path. Cody's legs ached with each step. His body wanted rest, but his mind replayed Hayden's words, Hayden's shifting face, Hayden's scream. The memory dug into him. After a stretch of silence, Adam spoke low enough for only Cody to hear. "You kept him from killing you. He could have done it, but you reached him for a moment. I could hear it." Cody shook his head, staring at the ground. "He's gone." Adam squeezed his hand tighter. They pushed on. The forest grew brighter with each passing hour, yet Cody felt no ease in the light. He thought of Hayden's thin frame when they first met at the trailhead, how the weight loss, the restless energy, the hollow look in his eyes had been warning enough. He thought of the silence that followed Hayden's jokes, the way he had smiled too wide when Cody grew uneasy. When they reached the edge of the road, Cody paused. The open clearing stretched before them, vehicles scattered. It seemed like it took hours for an ambulance to arrive, and hours still until they were at the hospital. Friends and family gathered there. Relief rippled through the group, though it didn't seem that anyone showed up for Hayden. Neither of his parents, his siblings. No one was concerned about his safe return. Cody's mother pressed her face into his shoulder, her sobs muffled against his shirt. His father held him at the same time, his rough hands gripping with an intensity that spoke of fear turned to relief. A few real hours later, Cody was released. All that remained in the room were his parents, Adam and his brother. He reached for Adam's hand again and guided it to his chest. Adam's lips curved faintly as his palm rested there, feeling the steady rhythm of Cody's heart. "You found me," Cody whispered. Adam shook his head and nodded to his brother. Actually, it was all Jake. Tears blurred Cody's vision, though he did not hide them. He pressed his forehead against Adam's, holding the moment as tightly as he could. On the ride home, Cody stared out the window to the tree line. He stared into the woods, the same woods that had nearly claimed him. His chest ached with grief for Hayden. He wondered if the boy he once knew lingered inside the creature now roaming somewhere in that wilderness, or if Hayden's humanity had burned away entirely. Adam's hand rested against his arm, warm and grounding. "He chose his path," Adam said, "and you chose yours." Cody nodded, though the truth weighed heavily. He turned to Adam, took in the sight of him sitting there with pale eyes lifted toward the light, and felt his heart steady. They arrived at Cody's apartment, and Adam decided to stay the night with him. But Cody knew the story would not leave him. The memory of Hayden's face, torn between hunger and sorrow, would linger. Yet Adam's presence at his side, the strength in his touch, promised a future where fear could not consume everything. That night, long after silence filled the neighborhood, Cody lay awake in his bed. Adam rested beside him, breathing slowly, his hand still holding Cody's as if afraid of losing him again. Cody stared at the ceiling and thought of Hayden running into the trees, screaming as his body broke against itself. He thought of the moment Hayden's eyes softened, the fleeting spark of the boy he once was. He wished he could have saved him. He knew he could not. In the dark, Cody turned toward Adam and pressed his lips tight to his forehead. The night no longer felt empty. It carried grief. It came with fear. But it also cemented a bond that could stand the tests of time.
Please make sure you are subscribed and be one of the strange.